one has to keep on adapting, one has to keep on changing, and adherence to compliance. Okay? And third is the teamwork. So you are put in a situation where the pulse of the businesses will have an effect on you. You will be always tasked to meet certain business targets, but again, without diluting other core philosophies. That's a drive, because that is really a drive.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of FaceTime with Leaders by Directors Institute, World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Tanay All, and today we have someone truly special joining us. Someone who's navigated the world of banking with remarkable precision and foresight. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome Mr. Sharad Kumar to the podcast. Sir, it's great to have you with us today.
Thank you, Tanay. Great pleasure to join today's podcast, and looking forward to some interesting discussion. Thank you.
Mr. Sharad Kumar brings with him a career story that spans 3 decades across retail, corporate, transaction banking, compliance, and digital innovation. From pioneering initiatives at grassroots levels to influencing policy refinement at the highest levels, it's a journey packed with milestones. Mr. Sharad, your career trajectory really paints a picture of evolution and resilience in a rapidly changing financial landscape.
Yeah. So, Tanay, when I reflect upon at this point of time, so I realized that how it all started, a fresher college boy with absolutely no background of banking, obviously, and no background of commerce as well. So
Wow.
starting his career, and in 92, India was at the cusp of a big change. We all know that in 92.
Yeah.
And Indian banking industry was also about to change permanently. We were going to implement nursing home committee reforms, and this young boy was tasked to implement this nursing home committee reform in that one region where I had joined. And if I remember correctly, the number of asset accounts were more than a lakh. And manually, you had to go through each and every ledger. You had to note down so many calculations. You had to go through the documents manually. I am again repeating the word manually. Okay? Me, and along with some in my team, there were some old bankers, but I had to supervise, and at that very young age. And but this gave me immense insight how the banking worked. And I'm really thankful to the stars that I was put in that particular place. So I started from that place. Later on, during my interaction and then my career, I interacted with a lot many MSMEs, large corporates, government customers, yes, of course, lot many, and self-help groups, rural branch manager, large corporate branch manager, and all that technology interaction with the RBI teams at the highest level through their policy initiatives. So it has all been a very, I would say, with a sense of satisfaction, very interesting across different segments. I've touched upon across different segments, be it MSME, software industry, manufacturing industry, and of course, banking it has always been.
And we're excited to explore that today, sir, because it's exceptional to hear the stories behind such a fascinating and incredible career. And why don't you take us through the journey, sir? How it all began, the different chapters you've lived, and what's made the path so rewarding for you?
Tanay, what made is very difficult to answer. Very difficult to what made, because one keeps on navigating the whenever it comes to a bridge, one keeps on navigating. So, say as just shared with you, when I joined, I started implementing that nursing home community reforms. I was bloody not even aware what the nursing home community reforms was all about. Okay. Similarly, later on, when I started doing my credit piece of assignment, started evaluating balance sheets. Went through all the corporate finance journey, and then large forex deals and all that. My branch was handpicked by NABARD in entire UP to do their pilot project of self-help group. And in those days, it was a big thing. Okay. So again, it was certain things I innovated. I must say, with sense of pride and satisfaction, that I innovated the e-auction platform for the government in the Maharashtra, and that it was replicated by other state governments. And me and the entire ICICI Bank team later touched upon trade online. Again, it was an online platform for facilitating automating the trade transactions from client angle. So just to give you a little perspective in detail now, that when was in Central Bank of India, there was a moment when we were tasked to file the DRT cases. Just to give some anecdote, DRT cases. So the debt recovery tribunal was a thing new, and prior to that, bankers were having a very not so having a pleasant experience with the judicial system as far as the recovery of the dues were concerned. So this was a new novel concept. Everything had to be done and done within a certain cut-off time, so that we would be really ahead of the curve. But I realized very early in my career that the Indian Army's officers' leadership is really marvelous. Officers have to lead from first. If you are a leader, you have to lead from first. This I realized early in career. Just by marrying, motivating the team by your words and so on. Okay, it helps, but doesn't take you to a very long distance. You have to demonstrate it yourself. So in those days in 90s, when I'm telling you that it was not an era of web meeting and all that and all that. So me and one of my colleagues will go to each and every branch. We would have decided in a list from each branch which were the particular accounts which were to be handpicked and to be dealt by us only. So we'll handpick those accounts, go to the lawyer, prepare all the documents, and file the suit ourselves. So move and then move to next branch, move to third branch, move to fourth branch, and it was about 100 of branches in a particular region. So within a month or so, within 40-45 days, it's all started in the form of then Jaljala. Everybody was got motivated, everybody was doing the thing, and the entire DRT, the target of DRT cases were met with. So this was an early thing which I realized unless until you do it yourself, by marrying, sermoning somebody or team, it doesn't motivate them to along. That was one thing I learned. Second, it also led to me another core belief value, that was the teamwork. Unless until you don't believe in a teamwork, you yourself can be very efficient. Because another facet of it, I realized it soon, because when I was interacting with the MSME segment of clients, what happens that in MSME segment, you often come across very enthusiastic, laborious, and meritorious entrepreneurs. Those entrepreneurs are really, really individuals whom you need to salute. But at the end of the day, an individual, howsoever smart, laborious he or she may be, he or she cannot do each and everything. So it has to be a team. There has to be a team. So those those who understood these or initiated some business process engineering, those were really successful. Those who could not, they got stuck somewhere. This again was the lesson that keep ultimately at the end of the day, it is a team which wins. It is not the individual. So teamwork. And teamwork. Second is the adherence to the compliance. There were many moments, I will share with you as we progress, that there were many moments when one could have diluted compliance, because there are many business pressure. There has always been the business, and it always remains so. So, but once you dilute that compliance piece, it is certainly going to hurt you somewhere, and it is going to damage your reputation very, very deeply. So adherence to compliance is the second and third, I'll say adaptation to the always adaptation to the change. These are the core things which I picked up.
Yeah. True, sir. I mean, whatever you've said are probably the basics of a corporate career and basics that one should be keeping in
And
mind.
these are
And
not the hollow words. These are not the hollow
yeah,
words.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And no wonder, sir, you helped turning around NPA. That's no small feat. Your DRT filing success, that's also no small feat. That comes out of a leadership and energy that has been built in the team. You know, these intense moments when targets seemed out of reach. How did you keep the team motivated, sir? Because it can be very tough when you're telling people to push the limits.
Again, as I told you, by demonstrating personally.
Yeah,
I have always believed only those things you can ask your team to do, those which you can do it yourself.
correct.
Unless until you establish your own with a personal example, you cannot ask your teams to follow the shoes. You
True.
cannot. So I just shared with you DRT. Same I'll share with you now. Another two anecdotes I'll share with you. When
Yeah.
I joined HDFC Bank, the same pressure was about the business banking.
Okay.
So in at that point, I was in Eastern UP. So and Lehman Brother movement had happened. Okay. So in the entire banking industry, there was a conservative environment of about the credit. So how will you do the credit? How will you pick up the clients? है ना? So again, there is no such formula. There is no such formula. So although there will every bank will have certain do's and don'ts and credit philosophy and certain arithmetical parameters through which it has to be run, but ultimately at the end of the day, the leader has to demonstrate with the team how to pick up the client, because there are many soft things. Once you go in the meeting, meet with the client, you understand it with the body language, with the framing of the sentences, how he responds to your queries. These are the things you have to understand, you have to demonstrate to your team where to read between the lines. So then only you can reduce the future prospect of delinquency. So those things were there. Third, when I joined ICICI Bank, still the Lehman Brother was movement was not behind. Well, although it was behind, but the effect was still there. It was 2010 movement, and I was given the charge of east of Maharashtra, Vidarbha, corporate banking. Now I had switched to corporate banking. So again, as I told you, the credit environment was still very conservative. So I was interacting with a lot many government people also. So I came across one very young, enthusiastic collector, district magistrate. So I can tell you that these young IAS officers, they are a marvelous lot. They have still not their dreams died. They are still very enthusiastic about their work profile, and especially the collectors, those who are in the collector profile, they want to do very so many things about their district. So I came across this young IAS officer. So one day he shared with me, "Ki, Yaar, Sharad, let us do something, and I want to reduce the cartelization which is prevailing in the sand auction. So can we do something?" So let me try to first understand what we can do. So I understood the process. Then I understood that there were two elements involved in it. One was the documentation piece, another was the financial piece, the deposition of EMD, and after that, the actual auctioning process. Then we and my team dwelt upon the automation, because till that point of time, we had only e-tendering automation in the industry, not the auction piece. So so the basic platform was borrowed, the idea was borrowed from that. We fine tuned it. We then run through the many of the stakeholders, and then we did the pioneer in that particular district. I'm not taking the name of that district. In that particular district, with the help of that district magistrate and the divisional commissioner. And can you just imagine how much the revenue jump in the government witnessed? 16 times.
Wow.
16 times. So,
That is a lot.
so that collector was honored by the Planning Commission. It was then implemented across Maharashtra, and not exactly same, but similar platforms were developed by other state governments as well. So that was one thing which I can really tell you with satisfaction, and how kept my team very motivated. Again, by personal involvement, personally leading it through. Similarly, when I got involved with the software industry again, because across the journey, I have realized you need not go and sell. You have to. The sale often happens unless and until there is no recall value about your services and your value proposition, sales won't happen.
Yeah.
Because once you are involved with the target segment, you are not here, unlike the rural segment, you are not involved with the target segment which is not doing banking, which has not been doing banking. Or say, if you are a manufacturer, if you are manufacturing a shirt, so what is the value proposition that with that particular shirt, which the Jodek is not having, which the Van Heusen is not already having? So you need to come up with something very peculiar, or which a customer can recall. So
Yeah.
repeat sale, and the further sales would happen basis that only. This has been my another learning proposition. So when I was involved with the software industry, they were already banking with so many MNC banks and other banks. So what was the value proposition which I can bring? So I understood that yes, as far as most of these software people, high corporate sector segment corporate people are software sector people are na exporters. So in our country, the export is a highly regulated activity, highly regulated activity. So you need to file certain shipping bills when you are doing a physical export, and when you are doing a software export, you need to file Softex. And whenever you are receiving the proceeds, those proceeds details are filed by AD, and those both the data are matched at RBI level. So here lies the pain, because in software industry there will be plethora of invoices. So TCS and Infosys and Tech Mahindra of the world generate lakhs of invoices per month. And in one single invoices, against one single invoices, there can be multiple of remittances. And one remittance again may have the bits and pieces of so many other invoices. So it's a very painful thing. It was a not is I will say it was a very painful thing for those software guys, how to file the regulatory, how to remain compliant with the regulations. We understood, we implemented certain solutions in with automatic handshake with the STPI servers, with the corporate clients, and as well as bank server. Automation happened, and some manual work had to be done. It was not yet completely automated, but it reduced their pain, say, up to a 50 or 60%. And now today it is the industry norm. So these are the things which I can reflect upon. There are many things which I can
Yeah.
talk with, but in the interest of time, let us cut short.
No, but I think that's some really valuable information, so that has been given out to our audience today. So, creating something as pioneering as the sand auction platform, and for the government no less, that's the kind of innovation that leaves a real mark. When I hear about initiatives like that, it makes me wonder what keeps that drive for innovation alive in you, even after so many achievements.
Uh, as I told you, na, so you have to be always alive to these four core philosophies I have imbibed since very early. One, uh, be near to your customer. That is customer service. That is adaptability. That is because every time frame or every market segment will be different. One has to keep on adapting. One has to keep on changing, and adherence to compliance. Okay? And third is the teamwork. So you are put in a situation where the pulse of the businesses will have an effect on you. You will be always tasked to meet certain business targets, but again, without diluting other core philosophies. That's a drive, because that is really a drive. Once you are successful in this coming up with a magic potion of all these three or four elements, you are through. That's it.
I can't put it any better than that, sir, honestly.
No, it's a very I would say very how to put it in a way. It's a very to be felt with kind of thing.
Yeah.
And once you start living it, breathing it, and leading the team through all that processes, and then you are able to realize, yes, these are the changes, these are the things, because marketplace is always changing, always
Yeah.
changing. In the 92, 93, the way the Indian markets were, be it for BFSI sector, be it for manufacturing sector, or be it for any other sector of services industry, it is totally different today. Totally different today. And we are again at the cusp of again mega changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it will be again different after 10 years henceforth.
And the speed at which technology today is changing is like
Yeah, yeah.
never before. So
Yes,
earlier,
yes,
like
yes, yes.
internet came after years, but after that it's been madness, continuous.
Yes, yes, indeed.
So when I look at your journey, moving from the grassroots of rural banking all the way to leading corporate transaction banking and driving digital innovation, it's clear you've seen and shaped banking across every spectrum. In a world where tradition often pulls one way and innovation pulls another, how have you personally found that balance, staying rooted in the fundamentals while still embracing and leading change?
Fortunately, I started my career in an industry now, which is deep, deep embedded in the traditions. Say, I'm not saying anything against about any other industry, but banking is one such activity now, which is deeply, deeply rooted in the traditions. You cannot afford to dilute your core value systems. I'll just give you one anecdote. When I was dealing with a very large NBFC company, certainly I will not take the name. And during the course of my business, we came across one particular business segment or activity, which was supposed to be very profitable for both of us, for them as well as for us. Okay. But it demanded some speedy, I would say, opening of the accounts of certain segment of clients, and that speed in turn entailed some dilution of our KYC processes, know
Okay.
your customer processes. Without that, it could not have been possible, at least the speed which they were expecting.
Okay.
And some competition was ready to adhere to that,
Okay.
come up to that level. We stuck to our guns. Yes, we are ready to innovate. We will deploy technology. We will deploy our team members on the feet on the ground, but within certain guardrails only. We cannot do that. Okay, fine. We lost the business. We lost the business. Okay. After a few years, certain things happened. We got back the business. Okay. So there are many things happened. So adherence to compliance is one thing. That is core traditional values, as you mentioned in the question. Those are the core traditional values. Key listening to customer, don't shortchange your customer, है ना? Because ultimately that is going to damage your reputation, है ना? Never miss sell, never miss sell, है ना? Second, adherence to compliance, and third is the adaptability to the marketplace.
Yeah.
Marketplace keeps on changing. These are the core things you need, and again, you need to live it.
Yeah. True, sir. And like you said, if you are right on your path, the path it'll come back to you. But if
Yes.
you start going wrong, there is no turning back then because you
It
don't
can
know
damage
what
you,
will
no?
come back.
It can
Yeah.
damage you. We all are aware, recently we all are aware. I should not be taking a name because in recent years we all are aware what happened to an international automobile giant. They were caught doing something which was not expected from such a brand.
Correct.
We all are aware. And
And
certainly about another aircraft manufacturer. They've also been recently caught short in their systems and processes.
yeah.
So across sector, it is your choice whether you are going to choose the shortcut for larger profits or the long cut.
Yeah.
Choice is
Right.
yours.
So, looking at the incredible journey you've had so far, it's only natural to wonder what's next on the horizon for you. Like whether it's personal milestones, professional goals, or even stepping into more strategic leadership roles like boardroom positions. What are some of the aspirations that still drive you forward today?
Now, Tanay, look, at this stage now, I'm certainly looking forward to again two things I want to share with all, giving back to the industry. One goal, but certainly for my personal aspiration, also I want to have at the leadership level to nurture more leaders. And when I say that to nurture more leaders, na, it is it encompasses so many things. That leadership only comes when one has that core HR philosophy. You have to be very caring about your team. At the same time, you have to be a good hard taskmaster. It's not easy to blend both the things, but you have to have that streak. Second, you have to have an eye over the efficiency. You cannot just let certain things go away. You have to be very aware about the efficiency part. Third, adherence to the compliance, as I told you, teamwork. So these are the things. Once you get that magic potion right, leaders are born. So leaders are not that they are born naturally. They get nurtured over a period of time. This is in my experience. I get there have been many leaders, those who have matured from my team, those who are now in leadership position themselves. I have always believed that leaders are nurtured. So my now dream is be from a board position or something like that to nurture more leaders and to help the corporates. Second is to help the corporates to change to more demanding conditions with today's market demand. Because I have seen the market changing the way I think I am now with basis that experience. I can really matlab, share things from basis, a couple of things which will help them because I'm sure that in 10 years from now, the shop floors will not going to remain same, be it in manufacturing industry, be it in service sector industry, and the way we do the buying or interaction with the customers, those things are also going to interchange. But the core philosophies are not going to get diluted. That is adherence to compliance and listening to your customers. So I
Right.
want to share that.
And that would be a privilege for any organization, sir, to have someone who is willing to give back to people and understands what leadership is about.
Yeah, yeah, indeed. Certainly, I look forward to. I look forward to.
Sir, with the kind of leadership roles you've held, I can imagine that the importance of corporate governance must have become more than just a checklist, almost a way of thinking and leading. And we've
Yes,
been talking about this. So
indeed.
I'd love to hear more about your perspective that how has corporate governance shaped your approach to leadership over the years and why do you feel it's becoming even more critical in today's business landscape?
As I shared with you, know that my NBFC all experience, this the similar kind of experiences have been throughout my career. So corporate governance, you see, I have come across some many large corporates, those who were very stickler to corporate governance. Okay, and those corporates are still there. They are doing their businesses very nicely. I have come across some corporates have very handsome turnover. They choose a certain shortcut way, and they paid very dearly.
Yeah.
So the two things, as I told you, the corporate governance and the adherence to customer service. These are the two basic core philosophies you cannot take a shortcut with. So adherence to corporate governance in particular has been through many of my experiences, which has shaped up my belief system. Once I came across a very large manufacturing company, and no one could believe that they will take a shortcut under pressure. But it so happened that when the inventory was checked of the raw material, I will not say much, but and it was a very big reputed name. They had done some hanky panky, and later they got into some trouble themselves, and we got out. So corporate governance has to be there. There was an international bank. I'll again not take a name. They again diluted some of their norms. They got into big trouble with almost all the big regulators on this planet. People can understand. So, and
Yeah.
I took the name of one large automobile industrial
Yeah.
giant. ठीक है ना? And one another aircraft manufacturing company.
And
So
now with digital data, it's become even more important because it's all available online. And if, like
so
you said,
again,
compliance.
right? You touched upon this. Again, we come across one such situation where uh, one large client was in a particular sector was caught with lot many mule accounts.
Wow.
So that means ki you are a big entrepreneur, and under certain conditions you are allowed to do some say IPO financing and all that kind of activity,
Yeah.
है ना? And you have opened accounts of your customers, but those are not your customers. The accounts are of your driver, the accounts are of your mali, the accounts are of your bawarchi. So these are called mule accounts. So this kind of dilution of corporate governance, whenever it happens, na, people get impacted, and their businesses also get impacted.
Long term for sure.
So these are my experiences. Ki whenever, whatever you do, two things are the core. Three things I will say are the core. Adherence to corporate governance, listening to your customers, and with that comes the adaptability to the marketplace. And the third one is teamwork. Without that, you cannot go far.
Yeah,
You
very
may be
true.
very efficient, maybe very hardworking, you will achieve, but you will not go very far.
So, before we wrap up, I'd love to hear a little bit about your experience since joining Directors Institute. Like, what has the journey been like you for so far, and in what ways has it added new dimensions or perspectives to your leadership approach?
I think very interesting. I myself discovered that I am yet to know so many things. And I thought that I was already knowing some things, but yes, the course material I was going through, and I'm still going through. I have not yet finished. That I realized that yes, there are many things in the world which I need to know more, and certainly it is helping me a lot in shaping up my thought processes and taking up the next leadership role. And thanks, certainly it will help me in polishing my stance at a board level.
Lovely, sir. Thank you so much for those kind words. Because
Thank
and it
you.
has
Thank
been
you,
an
Tanay. Thank you.
it's most welcome, sir. It's been an incredible conversation. Your journey, your insights, your perspective, all of it have given us a lot to think about how we treat businesses and what leadership truly is. So a lot to be inspired by. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing everything with such
Thank you.
openness, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Tanay. Thank you.
To all our audience, we hope you enjoyed today's episode of FaceTime with Leaders by Directors Institute. If you found even one spark of inspiration today, imagine that's possible when you keep learning, evolving, and leading with purpose, just like Mr. Sharad Kumar does. So, until next time, stay curious, stay bold, keep building for the future, and as I always say, have fun in your journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you.